Yeah, my name is Gordon Sallas-Mensah, and today I'm just trying to respond to what Kufuor just said the other 2 days. And the reason is just simple. Kufuor and his MPP government keep on repeating the same old story of raising $750 million from the Eurobond, and they always claim the Eurobond was oversubscribed. And there is one thing that Kufuor does not understand. When you buy bonds, there are two things that happens. Let's assume that Kufuor's Eurobond was at a zero coupon, meaning that there's no payment until the 10 years maturity date for them to pay the money. And what the MPP has failed to tell the people of Ghana that it's just a simple thing. They refuse to tell Ghanaians the actual value of the bond. You see, if you buy a bond and the bond is say in a denomination of 1,000, to raise $750 million, it means that you have to sell a bond which is more than 750 million. So for example, let me show you a simple calculation. Say you have 10 years of the life of the bond. The interest rate is 8.5, as I heard from our Adam FM. And then say $1,000 for each bond. There's zero coupon payment. This is how the bond is going to be calculated. The present value of the bond will be at $462.28. This $463.28 is each $1,000 you borrowed. You don't actually get $1,000. What you're going to get is $463. And don't forget, with this you have to pay commission and all other transaction. And above all, at the time of paying for the bond, you have to pay the inflation premium, which will make sure that the person who is giving his money to you today to spend will be able to buy the same item when you are giving his money back to him or her. So if we save this $463.28 down, and we want to actually raise 750 million, what we are going to do is this. We're going to divide this amount, 750 million, divided by the $463.28. And we need to sell as much as 1.618 million bonds in order to raise the 750 million. So if we sell, as I started from the beginning, I may let you know that each bond, if it is in a denomination of 1,000, so each paper like this is 1,000. So if I buy 10,000, you have to give me 10 of this sheet to show that on the due date I will show you 10 of this, and then you give me the money. But today's electronics, they are not actually going to show you a paper, but it will be on an electronic format that will show that Mr. E bought 10,000 of that bond, Mr. Z bought 20,000, Mr. F bought 100,000 or 100 million. So now we need to sell as much as 1.6 million of this sheet of 1,000 worth to raise the 750 million today. So if you want 750 million today and pay in the next 10 years, in the next 10 years, you have to pay 1.6 billion. And it is this 1.6 billion that Kufuor keeps saying that the bond was oversubscribed. When Kufuor keeps saying when he sold the bond at the Europe, the bond was oversubscribed. The man has forgotten that that is not the technical meaning of what they told him, because I believe that they told Kufuor that at the end of 10 years he has to pay 1.6 million, and he looks like he was thinking the bond has been oversubscribed of 1.6, because that is what his statement was. The bond is just 750 million, and in the financial market, if you are borrowing a hard currency at a return of 8.5 interest rate, plus the inflation premium, at the time of we paying 750 million to the owners of this bond, these debtors has to charge us inflation premium. So Kufuor is bragging that he was able to borrow money in the international market. Look, Ghana, at the time of selling the bond, everybody knows that we're going to produce oil in commercial quantity. We are producing timber, gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese, and so everybody knows that if they buy a bond with a high rate of interest on it, with plus the inflation rate, they are going to make money. So that is why people rush to buy Ghana bond, because they know Ghana cannot default. If they default, these people can force their government to seize any item sold by Ghana in the international market to pay their money back. So that's why people went in and bought it. And in finance, when you borrow money, you need to use it to do what you borrow the money for, so that the purpose is being achieved to benefit the society that you are borrowing the money in their on their behalf. You see, the whole problem is that we have a media that has a problem of interviewing technical people on technical issues. When you call 2 people or 3 people and sit down at your radio station and try to discuss finance matters, and when these people has no understanding and no knowledge in finance, what is going to happen is what is just happening in Ghana, where everybody fabricate what is going on and everybody try to speak for his party defense. You see, you don't borrow 1.6, the actual money is 1,618,885,000 342 cents. This amount plus commission plus other transaction fees. So by the time we pay the actual cost of borrowing 750 million, believe me, it will be more than 1.8 billion. And by the time we repay these people, this money will be more than $2 billion. So if you are borrowing $2 billion to do things, you need to make sure that the things are worthy to be seen, so that if we are paying for it, we know that we are paying for something good. If you borrow let's say the actual money is 1.6 billion, because that's what we have to pay. It's not 750 million. 750 million is what they gave us, but if we are going to pay the money, we have to pay 1.6 billion, and that is what Kufuor doesn't get it. If you borrow 1.6 billion, use it to do something beneficial for the people. You don't go and pay rent and salaries with a hard currency you borrowed. You don't go and use it to pay contractors for meters. Why do you use a high currency money to pay for meters? And you know what? Who was giving the contract to supply the meters? It is Kufuor's own son. You see, so you borrow money in our name to give it back to your son, and you call the deputy minister small boy, young boy. Look, who is young boy? When you can be old, age is just a figure. It's just a number that you have. But the mere fact that you are 60 years or 70 years does not make you the most smartest person, or does not make you the most brilliant or knowledgeable person. Age is just a number. Somebody can be 21 years and holds PhD. Somebody can be 22 years and hold PhD. And he knows better than people who are in their 40s or 60s or 70s. And so the notion that the fact that the figure of your age is less means that you are a little being has no basis in politics. Has no basis in politics. If Mr. Kufuor thinks that he's old and therefore it amounts to high knowledge, I'm sorry. The actual money you borrowed from the international market was 1.6 billion, not $750 million dollars. So in the first place, your age does not equate to your understanding of the finance figures. I believe you went to one of the best schools in London, and your age of education has passed. Adam Smith has been proven to be wrong when he said the government should be off business private matters so that the market control itself and the market will regulate itself. Look, that philosophy has been disproved that it is not possible. In those days, one transaction in the Wall Street or Tokyo market or London stock exchange would take days for somebody to know that one person or a company has bought a huge sums of stocks from one company, and therefore by the time you come in to know why that person bought that huge amount of stocks, that person has made already enough profit. Today it just takes seconds to know who bought what at what market. Today is a 24-hour trading. Everybody knows what is going on in a second. And so what we call arbitrage financing, arbitrage has been almost taken off the market. Arbitrage is making profit of an asset, buying an asset from a low price, selling it at where you can at a higher price in another market. Today, that arbitrage trade is gone because of electronic trading. So, Mr. Kufuor, for you to refer people as young and therefore they don't know, I'm sorry. It looks like you are the one who doesn't know and who doesn't understand. Because if you borrow high currency, you don't use to pay people's monthly salary, and you don't use to buy electric meters. Whoever is selling the ECG, who is selling these meters, they don't give it to people for free. How will you buy, got a high currency, and you go and buy stocks of a company? Buying stock from a company is good or is bad, because if the stock market goes down, guess what? You are going to lose the money you invested, and you cannot send anybody to court when you invest in stocks. Also, if you invest in a stock market, nobody controls what happens. The systematic factors that can cause you to lose can be controlled, but the unsystematic factors can never be controlled. And so if you don't understand what goes on in using some of the money to buy stocks, it's unfortunate that people could not tell you the dangers of buying the stocks. And also, if you use some of the money to go and do endowment fund for railway construction, I'm sorry, you don't borrow money and you need to go and do investment where you deposit the money. What is the interest rate that hard currency is going to give? You deposit millions of those money in an account that is idle, that is for the future. The present value of money today is not the same value of money tomorrow. So if you put the money down for one day or 2 days, the value of that money is no more that same value after 1 week or after 1 month. So that's why if you borrow hard currency, you need to right away, you need to do the investment you want to do by, say, a solid and good road construction, good networking system where there will be value after 10 years. In the next 10 years that you borrow that money, we need to pay $1.6 billion, not $750 million. That is what you have to take, Ghanaians. The actual money we have to pay for the $750 million you borrowed is 1.6 plus inflation rates at the time you will be paying the money. So please, if you don't know something, don't be making as if you are the most brilliant Ghanaian in Ghana. The reason why most people doesn't want to speak in Ghana is simple. If you know something and you want to tell somebody, they will brand you like, you Americans, you are too no, or you these people, you go abroad and you come and you are too no. And so most people who go outside Ghana and study something and they come back, they keep quiet, make money for themselves, and then life goes on. They don't care whether you are suffering or not, because when you try to help, you'll be labeled as the evil one, and therefore people will rather attempt to destroy you rather than helping you to move Ghana forward. You see, let us stop politics with all these kind of things. You know, you borrow the money for one reason and you use the money for another reason. If you don't use the money for the right purposes and now they are saying it, just keep quiet. Just be like George Bush. He knew what he did by going to war in different places didn't benefit the nation in any other way. Therefore, when he left the scene of politics, he kept quiet. He kept moving around, making his money. George Bush came to our school for just 2 hours. He was paid $100,000. Do the same way as I know you are doing. You are traveling around the globe, giving speeches and getting your pay. That is what you want, and you've got it. After all, somebody at the age of 45 and the person is a deputy minister, he's not a small boy. After all, you also have your son, 40-something years old, and lucky for him, you gave him some contract, and you bought him a hotel too. Maybe it's not everybody in Ghana who can get a father who will buy him a hotel. Yeah, because if your son was a bankrupt business person in America, how will he raise $8 billion to buy a hotel? Please leave us alone.